When I first started producing, I thought things was going to be simple. Go college, get a few plugins, make beats every day, and eventually I'd blow up, get placements, and live happily ever after. But I was wrong. I wasted years chasing the wrong things. Looking back, there's 10 things I wish I knew when I started that would have made my time a lot more easier, a lot more quicker, and get to this point a lot more sooner. And that would have saved me so much time. So the first thing that I used to struggle with is overloading my beats, putting too many sounds in there, not really knowing what I'm doing, not understanding chords, not understanding structure, just making beats, sounding repetitive. What I should have done is maybe just got used to a few plugins rather than throwing all these different plugins in there and not leaving space for artists to breathe. And even when I did make a decent beat, the mixes was absolutely terrible. Too loud, muddy, unbalanced. I listened back to one of my old beats the other day and it was phasing. And I think that's because of the way that I bounced it down at the time. It just sounded so horrible. So gradually, I've realised that how much a good mix matters. Not to the point where it's a Grammy mix, because artists and listeners, your average listener, they don't really care too much like that. I think it's just more us as engineers and those that are doing this for a living. But I'm not trying to downplay creating a good mix. It's important. So on top of that, I was just creating beats, putting them online and not really networking, waiting for sales, thinking that I'd just be found miraculously online and artists will want to use my beats or buy my beats. I wasn't really building relationships in the way that I should have. But then I realised over time, by creating value, putting that stuff on YouTube, Insta, talking to artists, collabing, and actually working on music and putting music out there, whether that be on Spotify or just collabing with an artist, it helps to build momentum. And by doing that, slowly things started to change. So one of the earliest things as well is just chasing trends, thinking that I have to be current, I have to use the same sounds as whatever everyone else is using. Luckily for me, that wasn't like a major deal, wasn't like a really big deal, because I've always feel like I've got my own sound. Even if I do lean on what's current, I still have my own way of doing things, which will always be a good thing for you, because then you will stand out. Even if you're just starting out and you've got like a way of doing things, stick to that. It doesn't always have to sound exactly the same as what's out now, because then you're going to sound like everyone else. So yeah, it's important for me to really develop my own sound. I also thought that having a beat tag would blow me up. It would make, I don't know, if someone, when someone bought my beat or used one of my beats in a song and you hear Casey at the beginning, then that would bring in more sales, more recognition and more clout. No, I can't tell you the last time I put my tag in a beat. Branding, consistency and presentation are way more important. So let's talk about quantity and quality. So you've got the whole post every day grind. Yeah, that's cool if you want to do that, but it's never really worked for me. And I feel like some producers, especially if you're just starting out and this is what you see, this is what you've been told, it can lead to burnout. It can make you feel like you're trying to compete with someone who you might not be able to compete with because they're at college or they're at school and they've got all the time in the world to make beats. Whereas you might have a family, you might be working and you just don't have the time to do that. But then you spend, I don't know, 2 days, 3 days on one beat that actually absolutely bangs. And it sounds way better than 30 beats that you would have put out because you didn't put the effort in. So for me, it's about quality instead of quantity. So the growth for me was learning the business, understanding the business, learning the business side. Contracts, splits, royalties, invoices, tax. You know, the tax man will come for you if you're running this as a proper business. It almost feels like music is 50% music and then 50% business. Once I fully understood what I needed to do, then I put certain things in place. Like I set up a proper business account, and every time I got paid through PayPal or my business account, then it would stay separate from my main account. Frees up so much headache and time when it comes to doing your tax returns, because you know that all your payments and outgoings are coming from one or two accounts, and it doesn't get confusing. Producing for artists and not myself, going back to putting a million sounds in the beat because I like melodies and just packing out the beat with too many sounds, realizing that an artist needs space in the beat to breathe. One of the biggest things that I like to do is drop an acapella in there once I've created a beat, and yeah, if it sounds good with the acapella, I know that I can put it out there or send it out to an artist and they've got space in there. And I do this a lot as well. When I create custom beats and send it out to the artist, it will be like a skeleton, or if it's too much, I will always say to them, there's space for me to add production or remove production once your vocals are in there. But I do want to get to a point where I am using even less sounds, because some of the best songs out there, hits, minimal. So I just want to get to that point. So one of my biggest breakthroughs was learning to mix vocals. I still feel like I've got somewhere to go, some way to go. I still feel like I can improve. But once I could turn a beat into a full song, I became more valuable. That skill separated me from just being a beat maker. So the biggest lesson of all is patience. Like, I wanted this to happen years ago. I wanted it to happen overnight. I wanted to be that guy that said, I'm working with this artist and I've got that placement and everything's worked out for me in a short space of time. I wanted to be that guy who created that video, but I didn't. And that's okay, because that's taught me patience. It's built character. It's taught me to be consistent. It's taught me there's no shortcuts, no handouts. No one's come to save me. It's taught me to trust in God, knowing that once you have that vision, once you feel like this is what you're supposed to do, then you just have to stay the course, keep going, because it's going to happen. Regardless of what anyone else says or thinks or tries to do to block your success, it's going to happen. And some of the producers that you see winning now, they've been putting in work for years. It's just no one really puts out their struggles. No one really posts their struggles. And that's something that I want to do a lot more of, show the real what's going on and how tough this is. Bear in mind, I've been doing this since 2015 and I still struggle. But it's a lot better than it was before. So I've just got some headphones delivered today. All these MM100. So I'm about to do an unboxing video so I can post it on Insta. And I'm going to do a video review. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on that one. And yeah, drop a comment and let me know how you're getting on with your music, your beats, or your mixing and mastering, your business. If there's anything you want to know, drop a comment and I'll get back to you. Appreciate you for watching and I'll see you in the next video.